Well, there has been a tremendous build-up for this, the third main event of the 2013 season in Geico Endurocross. It's all on the line here. Taddy Blazusiak, your champion year after year after year, including a perfect season 2 years ago. Now, for the standards he's set, for the type of expectations we normally have for him, he is on the ropes. Mike Brown taking both main event wins this year. Colton Haker, your fastest rider in the hot laps this afternoon. Taddy's in a tough spot here. He's really got to respond. There's the number 10 of Hager. That fast lap, more than a second quicker than anyone else, and he gets the inside gate pick.
Pretty amazing. You know, I'm glad to see Colton was able to get his helmet back on his head and line it up on the inside right there. That's a good spot. He can control the first turn. His Honda is hooking up today. We've seen that. That's Eric from Johnny Campbell Racing on his side. They build phenomenal motors. Colton's working right now. I think he's got what it takes to win the main event tonight, Jason.
Well, he had that inside gate pick in his heat race, and some other riders got a good jump from the outside, and he just hung around on the inside, calmly controlled it, and ended up in the number 1 spot. He won his heat. He was the fastest in the hot laps that we just saw, and now he has the inside gate here. Haker, certainly a favorite, but Mike Brown has won the 2 main events we've had so far, and as I was alluding to, Taddy Blazusiak can ill afford to go much further in this series without getting a win. He has to reestablish himself.
Yeah, this is the point where Taddy could really make a statement by coming out strong with a win. And from the inside, there's Colton, Cody Webb, Mike Brown, Taddy. Just those 4, there's the potential for huge trouble coming into the first turn together because every single one of those guys wants to be at the top of the podium.
A lot longer race here. Explain the difference between this and the heat races that we saw.
10 laps is tough because you have to conserve energy, but you have to find that balance where you're working at kind of the optimal pace, where everything's efficient, you're not wasting energy, but at the same time, you have to sprint the first couple of laps.
Yep. It's a 12-lap main event we're hearing tonight, and the lap time's pretty quick. They're getting into the 30s, just below that 40-second mark. But even Colton Haker said, I can't do 12 laps like I did that hot lap. It's a totally different strategy when you have to do it in a race as opposed to a time qualifying scenario.
There again, the technique too, Jason, is not to not make mistakes. You just want to minimize the mistakes and recover as quickly as you can. And the guy that wins tonight, no matter who it is, I guarantee he may fall down, he may stumble, but he's going to pin it.
All right, you've got Hager, you got the number 2 of Webb right there with him on the start. 2 riders with the trials riding background. Of course, Mike Brown, the motocrosser. Taddy Blazusiak, who is a trials rider. We're going to see which technique and which riding style lends itself best to our 3rd Endurocross main event of the season. Let's go racing here in California. Brown edging everyone out into turn 1. Hager trying to use that inside. No, Mike Brown nails the whole shot. He's got them in every race so far this year, and he's got it again. Hager and Blazusiak going at it.
And look at Taddy on the outside with the aggression, Jason. He is just pinning it right now. He's not giving up an inch. He knows he needs to get ahead of Colton.
Colton's on the inside, though, in this corner. Can he squeeze off? Yes, he holds the number 1 behind him. And Gary Sutherland in the number 4 position.
And these laps are critical for Mike Brown because he needs to get ahead and just haul tail. He needs to pull a gap on these guys as much as possible because what that'll do is cause Taddy and Colton to kind of get stuck on each other while Brownie pulls away.
Haker's certainly not going to be a pushover for Blazusiak. Let's give you a replay of the start.
Brownie just came from that outside, perfect drive. Cut over on Cody into Colton and just took it right there. But Colton too, he got through the rocks pretty well. And then Taddy just pinned it. You saw him on the outside kind of coming on top of the logs. He didn't care. He found a hole. He went for it, and that put him in a great position over on the left.
Well, you can't get a much better scenario than this. 3 of the favorites, all with good starts. Mike Brown looking to make it a hat trick, win the first 3 main events of the year.
That firewood section, so tough. It just shows even if you're Mike Brown, you can't get through there without a little bit of trouble. But he's doing what he needs to do. He is so phenomenally fit right now. He's been training so hard on the bicycle. And I think it's really going to pay off with 10 laps remaining in the main event.
How hard is it to stay relaxed and keep control of the bike? It's that far out from underneath you.
It's all about breathing. You know, Taddy said before that he essentially yawns while he's riding. He's just sucking in these big gulping breaths of air. And you have to do that. But what happened to Colton?
Yeah, he was in 2nd. He was holding Blazusiak off. Now we've lost him. He's back to 3rd. So it's the KTM riders 1 and 2.
In a huge battle for 3rd right now. We've got Colton, Gary Sutherland right behind him. That's Cody Webb in the blue helmet, followed by Taylor Roberts. So those 4 guys, any one of them could land on that 3rd podium spot.
Big Hager goes down big. And Webb almost comes unglued, manages to stay on it. Here's Graf under the 118 trying to get around Hager. Oh, Robert has gone down. in the rocks.
Drama out there, but Colton recovered really quickly. I don't think that crash phased him a lot. He's getting back up, moving his clutch a little bit. Brownie right now, he's keeping it on 2 wheels, and he's doing what he needs to do.
Feet off the pegs for Brown, but like you said, you're not going to have a perfect Endurocross main event. He's trying to just minimize the damage. Let's show you what happened here to the number 10.
Colton hit that hard, landed, and just kind of looked like it skipped out as he came out of this firewood section. Lost the front end, bucked him kind of straight to his shoulder and head. That was a gnarly crash, but
yeah, that could have hurt.
He's a tough kid. He's a very good rider, and unfortunately he fell down.
Brown a mistake, and Blazuzyak ready to attack. So the 2 KTM teammates are about to battle, and they've got a big lead over everyone else by virtue of those crashes. So they can take some chances now.
Absolutely, and Brownie's not the type of rider we talked about earlier you're going to pressure into anything, but he knows Taddy's right behind him. He just wants him off of his tail.
Yeah, we'll see if he can extend it back out. I think he actually has a little bit after that mistake.
And happy to see Taddy doing well. You know, he's been off his rhythm a little bit, but he is right where he needs to be behind Brownie. And Taddy at this point, he's got 8 laps, so he can kind of stand to watch Mike a little bit, but he can't do that for more than 2 laps. He needs to get around him.
This rock section seems to be working a little bit better for Taddy, but he was held up by a rider who had gone down, didn't have the chance to make the pass. But if he's close the next time around and the track is clear, look out for the number 1.
Now, Jason, you think that double over the water could come into play later if these guys get close enough?
Well, that'd be the hope. We certainly want to see it be that close and maybe have to pull out all the stops. Brown did say it was getting more and more slippery as the night goes on. Brown almost lost the front end in that corner. And
the interesting thing, too, is he's getting into lappers at this point. You see he's got Jeff Aaron ahead of it.
Blazuzyak on the inside. Yeah, Jeff Aaron's holding them up, and Blazuzyak is taking the lead from Mike Brown. So the first time this year, someone has been able to take the measure of Brown after he gets the start. Brown trying to fight back. Blazuzyak stuck.
That's tough. These guys are teammates, but they both want to win.
And Blazuzyak runs the rear wheel into the front wheel of Brown. I think he's just trying to get to the line he wanted. That might allow the rest of the field to close in a little bit.
This is where the lappers come into play. It's a small track already, and you add in extra bodies, extra bikes. It's difficult to get around. So Taddy, that was the edge he needed to get ahead of Mike. But I'll tell you what, Mike hates losing to Taddy. Even though they're teammates, even though they're buddies, that's it. He wants to be up front.
Well, yeah, talk about the mind game between the teammates here. What would this mean if these 2 guys in a straight-up fight, whoever takes the win, it's going to be a big advantage. Let's take you back through this battle in the rocks.
They're both coming in riding so well, and I think at this point it was Taddy just kind of hanging Mike up. Taddy got back after it, and both of those guys just grabbed a handful. You see Taddy's rear tire just spinning. He forced the line.
Yeah, he was aggressive there, but you got to be. But again, what does it mean for these 2? It's a mano-a-mano battle. This is a head game.
But they may be teammates. They're both riding for KTM. They will both take each other out in an instant if it means the win. They'll do anything it takes to get to that top spot. Brownie right now, he's a couple bike lengths back, but don't count him out. We have 5 laps to go. Anything could happen to Taddy, especially with so many lappers ahead of him.
Yeah, Brown's got a couple sections of the track that seem to lend itself to his style. He closes back in. Mistake from Taddy. Don't want to have to rush it through here too much. Cody Webb in 3rd, by the way, has caught Brown. He's not out of it.
No, when you hit on a good point, Taddy's not rushing it. He's riding really smart right now, and that's the cool thing about Taddy. He's such a smart guy. He knows when to back it down. He knows when to wick it up. We saw him kind of dial up the aggression as he got past Brownie. At this point, he's riding smooth, trying to maintain the lead.
Doubling into the water, but not over it. Brown, does he have that in his back pocket? Will he try? You see Webb there on the white bike in 3rd. Keeping Brown honest.
Now, both these guys are running very similar lap times, Jason, so that means Taddy's not really pulling away, but the wild card is what happens when they get into lappers.
Only 4 laps to go. Webb a little mistake through the firewood. Last time around, Webb a 41-second lap, 3 seconds quicker than both Blazuzyak and Brown. If he can maintain that pace, cut the mistakes out, he certainly has the speed.
Yeah, 3 laps to go. The intensity level is kind of winding up. If you're Brown, you're getting more and more frantic. That causes you to ride tight, elevated heart rate and everything. And right-hand twist, he's going to be grabbing more throttle.
Yeah, that's the solution here at 3 laps to go. Just twist the thing harder. Here's Blazuzyak. Brown still in the picture. It's not over.
Brownie looks like he's catching up a tad. And once they get on 2 laps to go, mistake out of Taddy.
And now Brown is right there, and the logs, or the firewood, have been kicked out onto the dirt, so that section is more treacherous than ever. Time running out. These guys have to be fatigued. They've got to be tired. They've got to be breathing hard, and Brown now has Blazuzyak right in front of him.
what Brown's going to do is try and pressure Taddy into a mistake, meaning he's going to try and get so close that Taddy isn't thinking forward, he's thinking behind him, and that's when Brown's going to strike. I think he can do it if he gets close enough.
It could come down to that firewood section. Here's what it looked like the previous lap, Chris.
Taddy getting out of shape. He may be getting fatigued a little bit. Just came in kind of sideways, and he's still trying to keep it going just straight ahead of him. But look at all that firewood that's been kicked out of that section.
Look at all that energy that he had to use to keep that forward progress. He's pulled it back out a bit on Brown. 1 lap to go. Could this be the breakthrough win in the point series that Taddy Blazusiak needs?
I'll tell you what, if we see Taddy win this one, we're going to have a very bad Mike Brown on our hands later on. Yeah. Brownie still could do it, but with Taddy right now, he's getting around the lappers clean. Graffunder could hold him up a tad, which could help Mike Brown.
He's inched away just a bit. So Brown not able to pressure him these final corners, but Graffunder not making it easy on Blazusiak. And this is the section, the firewood. It almost claimed Blazusiak. Can he get through there clean? Oh, feet off, sideways. Manages to hang on.
Pulls it a little bit out of shape, but he gets there. I don't know. Unless he falls, Brown can't get him.
Checkered flag is out. Taddy Blazusiak wins in Ontario. And that was a statement win. He is happy. He takes the measure of Mike Brown, makes the pass. Cody Webb, a great ride for third to put the Beta up on the podium.
And we saw after that vet class, everybody high-fiving. You didn't really see that out of Mike Brown. You know, second place to him, it's win-lose if you're Mike Brown.
No, and that's 3 points gained in the series for Blazusiak, who had a 10-point deficit. It'll be down to 7. He needed that one badly, and he did what he had to do. He tracked the veteran down and gets the victory.
Taddy shaking those arms out. He had to work for that one, Jason. You could see that put the pressure on him, but really that's mental strength that he's able to maintain the lead that long. Yeah, because you knew that Brown was looking to pounce and take advantage of KTM people. Very happy. It's actually Ryan Dungy's brother there spinning the wrenches. That helps out with all facets of KTM racing. Gonna get a little celebration here from the champ. It's usually a specialty. Taddy loves his fans, like we were saying earlier. He'll do some wheelies and nose wheelies and possibly the worm breakdancing move, but it's very fun to see him this excited. He's back on top of the podium. Here are your points would be after this. There's a little celebration from Taddy. Like we said, it was a 10-point lead for Brown. It's now down to 7. A rough night for Taylor Robert has allowed Blazusiak to pull away from him. It could be just between the teammates only for this title. This is what it's all about with the number 1. Yeah, Taddy's not back in the points lead, but a win right now is an awfully good start. We still have 4 rounds remaining after this. He could easily grab the championship. I think he's feeling pretty good right now. This is one of the biggest celebrations yet from Taddy Blazusiak. Of course, we'll catch him down on the podium, get a chance to talk to our top 3. We'll actually have Lorette Nickel joining us for the victory celebration. But for Taddy, it's all smiles. Things are back on track. Was good at X Games and certainly good tonight. Huge grin under that Red Bull helmet. Taddy Blazusiak taking the top spot. Mike Brown in second. And third place, Cody Webb. Results say Taddy, but Colton made it up to 5th. How about that ride? Yeah, how about that? The big crash. Again, though, has the speed, just not able to quite put it together. You know, one of these nights he'll do it. Redmond, a good run. Sutherland was up front early. He was solid all the way through to finish in the top 10 and 7th. Graffunder, not the night he wanted with 8th. Soleil and Aaron round out the top 10. That is a loaded main event field. Yeah, nice to see Taylor Robert up there in 4th, too. And the points chase, the way it works, you just want to be as far up as you can every weekend. I mean, with Colton, he had the speed to win tonight. Just couldn't put it together. Yeah, and maybe that's the difference, the experience of Taddy, who's won a ton of these things, and certainly Mike Brown, who's racked up some of his own. And when it counted in the main event, they were able to put the start and the laps together. Taddy Blazusiak, he's soaking wet. Oh, we're going to give him the headset. Didn't even know we were going to do this. Taddy Blazusiak, you're back. You got your first win of the year in the point series, and you did it the hard way. You had to get around Mike Brown. It has to feel good. Oh yeah, for sure, man. Like the first couple laps were insane. I'm telling you, like I got a pretty good start. I blocked a couple guys on the outside, and then with me and Mike, we made a couple mistakes. So but still, I'm pretty happy with my riding. I've been jumping pretty much everything and hitting my lines, and being consistent. And my fitness is great. And yeah, walking away with the win here, it's really, really great. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the next race and try to keep the momentum going. And I'll see you in a couple weeks. Outstanding, good ride, Taddy. Happy to see you back on the podium. Any sponsors you want to thank? Oh yeah, for sure. But huge thank you. Got to go to KTM Factory Team, for the bike. The bike is great. WP guys, suspension guys, they made an incredible job. All my sponsors: Red Bull, Fox, Aero, Glorify,
Verva, everybody, you know, like thanks a lot. Yeah, it's been a couple months since I've been here in the first place, but I worked hard and we got everything around, and I think we'll try to go from here.
All right, congrats. We'll let you talk to the live announcing crew. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, that's Taddy Blazusiak, a very happy winner. And the points, a couple rounds remaining in this series. And it's always about that one big mistake. You saw, for example, what happened to Hager. You know, you can have the speed and end up finishing 4th or 5th of the night. That's the big swing that Blazusiak's looking for. Hoping that Brown makes that mistake.
Oh, it's such a gamble. And going into the Denver round, our next round, Mike Brown's still holding the lead after 3 events. So that's a pretty good spot for him to be in, but he's not happy enough with it. I think he wanted the win tonight.
Nah, you know, Mike Brown is a racer's racer. It doesn't matter. It's Endurocross, Motocross, Supercross out in the desert of Baja, which he's doing a lot nowadays. He races to win. You even heard about the guy's lethal in testing and on the practice track. So, yeah, he certainly didn't want to see that win streak go up in smoke tonight. But Taddy was able to get the measure of him. Brown kept him close all the way through to the end, though.
Yeah, and Mike will be too hard on himself. I think 2nd place is awesome.
Here is your event schedule in the series. Denver, Colorado will be our next event for the series. We will have the live webcast on the October 26th event, Everett, Washington. Then the boys will go racing in Boise, Idaho, and we will have one more live webcast at our championship finale in Las Vegas, Nevada, where it all started in the Orleans Casino. I think we're going to send it down with Mike Brown in just a moment to talk to our 2nd place finisher and still the points leader. How'd it go tonight, Mike?
It was good. Got a good start there, and just kind of got a little tight, but got onto the lapper guys back there in the rock around the corner section, and got behind on the other side of, I don't think who it was, Jeff Aaron maybe, and costed me a little bit. But you know, if I'd had a few more laps, I was getting my arms were loosening up a little bit, and I was starting to feel better. So it was okay. You know, second's better than last. So, but I still want to win. I'm not happy about that.
Yeah, what's it like battling with a teammate, especially when you guys get really close in that rock section?
It's not teammates. It's just racing.
That's what we like to hear. Anyone you want to throw a shout out to, Mike?
My kids at home, if they're watching, and probably in sleep. My wife, everybody.
Late.
You know, it's KTM. You know, everybody. FMF is top-notch team, and glad to be part of it.
Absolutely. All right, congrats, Mike. We'll let you talk to the live announcing crew. Congratulations on a solid ride.
Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye.
Very cool to see Mike Brown with the points lead going into the next round.
Yeah.
You know, he's still smiling. He'll take it back. He will work twice as hard during the week until he gets to that next race, just so he can grab another win.
As we stare at the water here, let's reflect like the water does on not even thinking of Taddy as a teammate. Not even thinking of Taddy as a teammate. He's just a guy he's got to beat. He's racing to win. And that could be interesting as the points get closer and as the year end grows closer as well. Here's your results. One more time, Cody Webb 3rd, Robert 4th. Robert had a crash there in the rocks. He was in contention as well. He was there up front early on.
Yeah, what an amazing night of racing. You know, every one of these guys has incredible heart, and I think everything built up to a phenomenal pro main event because everybody wants it so badly, and that's the nature of Endurocross now. It's just so competitive.
Absolutely. So Taddy Blazusiak, they had him on the ropes, hadn't won the races early in the year. He has reclaimed his spot as king of the hill for now in the Geico Endurocross Series. Of course, they're going to hook it up October 12th in Denver. We'll be back with a live webcast at the end of October from Everett, Washington. We'll see if he can keep the momentum going. We want to thank you, folks watching on the Motor Trend YouTube site. It's a great night of racing. Congrats to all of our winners in our support classes and, of course, our main event champion, Taddy Blazusiak. For Chris Dennison, I'm Jason Wygant. Thanks for joining us for Geico AMA Endurocross, fueled by Monster Energy. Well done, Taddy Blazusiak.